With us today, Pete and Sam are here from Zuant 3D. Really, really excited. Zuant 3D has been a very, very valued Matterport partner for a long time. First met them at the Space Jam, and they won the coveted Space Jam award, which was terrific. Yeah, there it is. And I just I think that what Zuant is doing and Zuant 3D is doing with Matterport is just super, super unique, and I really like it. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys get a chance to see it and understand kind of what it's all about. So that's what we're here for. So let's get started with that, and have Pete kind of tell us all about Zuant, where you guys came from, what Zuant 3D is, what Matterport has anything to do with that. Give me the lowdown.
Thanks, Amir. Hopefully, Matterport's got a lot to do with this. Welcome, everyone. I think we are a little bit different. We don't mind that. And let's just give you a little bit of background to Zuant. So the company is actually 20 years old. And our core business leading up to COVID was very much lead management. I think many of you might agree that a lot of companies are terrible at following up sales leads. You know, you go on a website, you put your details in, you want to get some information, and half the time you think you're not going to get a response. So the whole Zuant package surrounded events and using the Zuant app to scan the typical event badges you get, and then to start the whole process of lead management from there. Of course, COVID affected all of us in so many ways. The event industry got completely annihilated for a few years. And fortunately, the phone kept ringing with requests to do lead management in virtual spaces, in fake 3D exhibitions. And, we were all scurrying around trying to keep everything moving. And that's how we researched the market to see what we could do to offer lead management in virtual spaces. And this has continued to grow for us alongside our traditional business. So we're very excited about how the applications are moving, both within the property market and into a whole other area of niche markets. It's a very exciting time. So what do we want to do with Matterport? Matterport, we love the quality, the photography, the whole experiences are really good. For a lot of our clients, like Hertz, as you can see on the left here, they wanted some navigation. They want to make it easier for customers to go into a Matterport space and be guided through the space very easily. So that was sort of one of the first features, is the navigation side, to be able to do that. And then engagement. We don't want people just to go into a space, have a wander around, say, oh, well, this is really interesting. Let's actually talk to people in a space as if it was a live exhibition you were attending. So the moment someone goes into a Zuant 3D Matterport space, the sales teams within the client gets pinged an email, and we have this wonderful feature called Radar, where sales guy can enter Radar and the screen swivels around, and you can continue to have a similar Zoom Teams call directly with someone in a space. So that works really well, and it's a major feature of what we're showing you today for Hertz. It's that engagement side. And we talked earlier about how bad companies are at following up any leads. So, it doesn't end with the visit. We had, from our events business, all of the systems in place to be able to store content, share content, depending on what someone was looking at a live show and now in a 3D space. And there's nothing nicer than getting a personalized email straight after you've met a sales guy, either live or in a virtual space. and it just streamlines the process. It makes it much faster. It shows you're really keen to do business. So content, thank you email, and of course the leads themselves flowing nice and swiftly, indeed immediately into CRM system, whether it's Salesforce or HubSpot or marketing automation platforms like Eloqua, Marketo, etc. And always amused these stock photographs of guys looking at a CRM system. They're smiling and happy. I don't think in real life we've seen that, but hey ho, we've done our bit. So good. That's a little bit of our background. Let me hand over to Sam, and we can show you that this is actually reality.
So, so you guys are obviously we're looking at Hertz. When did you start working with Hertz? When did they come to you?
So this was actually through our call center partner, Connector. You might have seen their logo in our presentation. They were already providing call center agent facilities from the website for free phone numbers, 1-800 numbers, so that they just had us like a 1D conversation with customers. So they cleverly thought, well, hold on a second, let's talk to Zuant and bring in this whole 3D idea. So the whole call center agent support piece backs onto the back of Zuant 3D so that they can manage the radar, the call handling, the text side, the virtual agent side within this. And I guess this has now been running fully for 12 months now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so we get to the landing page. We see this little form. You throw that in there. That obviously gets Hertz the contact information. That's your lead gen right there.
Indeed. So this is how we produce a reference of who's looking at a space. So this is a gated experience, as it was, and you can add different fields on here as well. So if you want to sort of receive additional promotional content from Hertz, you can use a tick box as well. You read the privacy policy, click let's get going. It brings you into what we call the reception scan, which then links off to another Matterport space, which by saying we call hyperjumps, to your car of choosing. So I'll click into the Polestar and it will just take me there in a second. And as Pete mentioned, there's a few different ways to navigate. We primarily use this sort of translucent box. And as you click into each, it takes you to the desired location. So if I go into key features, we still use a bit of Matterport tech by way of tags, so drivers can understand more about the vehicle they're looking at. And if you want to jump somewhere like the cost breakdown, we can manipulate the camera zoom on the camera as well. And if you want to quickly navigate to a different point, you can use the points of interest menu there in the top right as well. So if I click the rest of the fleet, enter the Ford Explorer, and then look at the Polestar 2, that can be done as well. And if I really like the Ford Explorer and sort of like what I'm looking at, now we've got a new sidebar feature where you can sort of directly embed any iFrameable content in, whether that be sort of a sales brochure, part of a website. So for Hertz, we use it as part of their booking funnel. So if I want to book the vehicle, I want to look to rent to buy the Ford Explorer, I click that and it pops open this sidebar window here. I can select whereabouts I want to pick it up from and go through the customer journey all within the Zuant 3D experience.
Wow, so you're never taken anywhere. You don't have to like leave this and come back. Everything is
Exactly.
inside this experience.
Yep, and this is all trackable. So what I'll get to in a second on the back end is that version that I've just described there. So if I enter radar, just on my other screen, which I'll touch on again, you can see a sort of a receptionist drop down or prompt comes down from this sidebar where it can press start chat, and it can swivel around. It gives me a number count, how many receptionists there are, and available to chat. So that's a functionality as well. So that's more of the customer facing stuff. I'll just touch on some of the back end functionality as well. So there's 4 different tabs. Activity is where you sort of pull in all your analytics. So this is a manufactured account as it was. So just a dummy of the Hertz experience. We'll show you some live data a little later on, but you can just sort of see on a high level view. We class an activity as a click. So that's whether going from one point to the next or moving from a swivel of the camera. Leads is pretty similar. It gives you sort of a high level overview. And then radar is sort of the main functionality. So this is where you can see people live in the space, and as they sort of move around, their sort of media tile as it was moves around, and this little number here is their activity score. So as they begin to move around, that number starts to go up. And if you want to sort of focus on your highest dwelling people, you can, or if you can filter it by lead score there. So you just sort of have to hover over your desired person you'd like to engage with. You can send them an invite to chat. If they accept, it pops out a little chat window where you can engage in conversation. And this can be a one-to-many, so I can invite multiple people to chat if I please. And you can also send a video invitation as well. So what that does, it puts myself and the visitor in a dual hosted experience where they can click around and navigate the space, similar to what we're doing here with a Zoom call, where we can answer questions live, just as we were via Zoom.
So it's essentially somebody coming out of the dealership, greeting the person and saying, "Hi, let me show you around. Do you have any questions?"
Exactly, yes. And so it's a way for Hertz to display. So at the current, they have a fleet of about 12 vehicles. So this is just targeted at their PCO market, and that's ever growing. But if they were to sort of have a physical showroom here to stock all these vehicles at one place, obviously that's running sort of tens of thousands of dollars a month just in sort of rent alone for a central location in London.
So instead of opening up a place in London, they have this. Is that what you mean? Or
yeah, so this sort of helps replace the need for a physical showroom, or at least give them the visitors a sort of preview into what to expect when they arrive on the day.
Got it. Are these all these 12 from the same location? I mean, I see the 4 that I'm looking at down here look like it, obviously.
Yeah, so we do all the scanning at their Heathrow location.
Okay.
So that usually occurs quarterly when they're adding new vehicles. We've got one coming up in the next couple of weeks, actually, to take it from, I think, 12 to 16 vehicles. And then, so we get the Matterport link sort of a few hours after, and then sort of within the week, we have this turned around for them and live on their website.
Got it. So, I mean, they wouldn't necessarily have to be the same location.
No.
Because it's all, I mean, obviously, this is kind of like your virtual showroom. You can have from multiple. I mean, if a car is located at one, the other side of the country in a Hertz location, you can scan it there and just add it here, and it's kind of it kind of makes it the same location.
Exactly, yeah. And the way our hybrid jumps work, as long as we have the Matterport link, we can stitch multiple sort of scans into one.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask, if they're all the same model. I mean, some of these cars look like they're physically in the same spot, right? I mean, you move some in there, so you're kind of continuously. Are these all individual? These are all different models.
They are, yes.
Okay, so yeah, so you're already as it is, even though this is all one location in Heathrow, you are still stitching together, kind of, moving between separate models.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it wouldn't matter where these are scanned.
No, and I'll pass back to Pete now to talk a bit more on the analytics side of things.
Good. And yes, Amir, just picking up on that point, obviously we drive on a funny side of the road, but Hertz are looking to expand this, I believe, across Europe. So there we can get the economies of scale and maybe have all the photography handled at a really nice location in Paris, for instance, and that could be shared in different languages using all of the same Matterport experiences across Europe. So that's going to be a very exciting next stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting all the tags translated, I'm assuming. Does that mean that, I don't know, somebody looking for a car in France or Germany would be able to see a car in some other country and buy it from there? How does that work? Or would they only be able to like search the cars in their own country?
No, they'd use all the same Matterport scans, but have different translations and different hyperlinks to get through to their country's pricing setups. And of course, the agents to speak the right language to provide that support in radar. So, the real economies of scale with this approach.
Yeah, that seems like it adds a whole nother kind of layer of complexity.
It does, but pretty easy to use and set up fairly quickly, and the results have been stunning. So we're looking at now in excess of 10% of visitors going onto this Hertz UK site are converting to a sale without any additional channels being used. No actual visit to a showroom.
No, so okay.
To get that with a car sale
pretty much
is
like,
wonderful.
Buying a car kind of sight unseen or car unseen, I guess.
Indeed, and I think that would be the trend. With electric cars, the percentage of those coming on our roads now. It's almost like buying a new Apple computer. You can just go onto the store and have a browse around and talk to an agent online, and you're comfortable enough to buy. You know what the quality is like. You probably tried your neighbour's car and thought, well, this is really nice. So it can save an awful lot of time.
Yeah, 100%. I think Mike was able to join by phone, so that's great. Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you very much. I apologize for any technical difficulties.
Listen, I apologise. I've been trying to get in since 4:15. So listen, we'll have to do it old school. And you've got me on the phone. So apologies that I can't be seen properly in the meeting. So but I'm here now.
Tell us a little bit about, I guess, how you're involved with this whole thing and your experience with it, I suppose.
Yeah, we wanted a virtual showroom in our back pocket, really, that we could take anywhere with us that could kind of showcase all of the vehicles that we had without having to bring drivers to a showroom. All the costs associated to bricks and mortar and having idle vehicles in a showroom. We wanted to be able to take that out into the field and be able to use it, and also be able to link drivers to the virtual showroom so that they could look at it and browse the vehicles in their own time, particularly in this world that we're working in the PCO taxi world. These guys have a bit of downtime between taxi trips, and that's when they want to kind of go in and browse and have a look around at what we've got. So, that's when this product was presented to me. We had a good look at some of the stuff that was already being done, virtual showroom stuff. And we really liked what was there. So that's where we began our journey with Zuant and Matterport.
Very good. It's unusual. I mean, Hertz is probably the biggest rental car company in the world, as far as I know. You see it absolutely everywhere. And so for a company like that to do something like this, that seems very not mainstream. Like, this is not what your industry is doing is, I guess it's honestly pretty radical in a way. What got you to
Yeah,
think
yeah.
like we need to go virtual? Like what I guess led you to that?
I think it's this market, this market, this PCO world, and renting vehicles to taxi drivers is very, very new to us as well. We've been doing it now for 3 years. It's a I say completely different model. We're renting vehicles, but it's a different sector than we've ever worked in before. We know what the levers are. So we know what the drivers want to see, what they're looking for in this world. That's why we had to come up with something that, as I say, allowed us to kind of sell the product, sell the services without having to bring drivers into a location, which is traditionally what we would do with vehicle rental in Hertz's world. So it was just tailoring it for the market and tailoring it for what we needed in this space.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And I mean, as far as like the results that you've seen so far from this.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great tool. It continues to get better week after week. We saw about an 80% improvement in lead gen, our lead generation, and the leads that come through this channel. We have lots of channels where our leads can come through, but the leads that come through this channel, the virtual showroom channel that we've set up, tend to be quality leads, kind of pre-qualified. The drivers already had a look around the vehicle. They've already, looked at kind of some of the key points that are important to a PCO driver, like the vehicle range, like the boot space, like the category that it will sit on the Uber platform. So they've already pre-qualified, and then that obviously has transpired and improved our conversion rate by about 30%. We've improved, and like I say, that's continuing to develop and grow week after week.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, so let's, I'm just looking at the comments here and some of the questions. Scott would like to see the demo again. Maybe we can do that, and I'll ask Mike a couple more questions.
Sure, I'll run it in the background.
So, yeah. Scott, if you have any specific questions, we went through the demo briefly, but we'll go ahead and run it again. If you got any questions for us, please throw them into the Q&A panel. Okay, so while Sam is bringing that up, we mentioned these are all at Heathrow, and you have plans, Mike, to run this across other countries as well.
Yeah, so we've kind of set the bar really in the UK, first to kind of bring this concept to market. We do the actual shoot of the vehicles, and we've actually got 4 new vehicles, kind of hero vehicles as well, that are coming onto our platform next week, and we're going to be doing the shoot again at Heathrow. It's a great location to be able to do it, but the vehicles are actually available at 4 or 5 different locations where we rent these vehicles from to the PCO community within London. We're looking to go outside of London as well. So in the next couple of weeks, we will be offering it at some of the other major cities in the UK. And then, as you quite rightly said, we're doing or running this PCO rental operation in other EU countries. France is live, Netherlands is live, and there's soon going to be some more EU countries, Germany joining as well, Italy, Spain. And they're looking at us and what we're doing because we're kind of setting the benchmark, I suppose. So the idea would be, we've done the proof of concept now. Let's see whether it can support the other EU market.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, looks like I may have misread Scott's message. Sam, do you have a link that some of our attendees can maybe do exactly what you're doing? Visit in and
Yes, of course. Pop it in the chat. You just put it up.
fantastic. Oh, okay, there it is. By all means, if you're with us, click on that link. Check it out. It's pretty remarkable. And while they're doing that, yeah, I was just gonna say, while they're doing that, you can go into Radar and show how that looks like in the back end.
Yeah, so just in case you joined slightly late, this is Radar. So this is how you're able to sort of observe people in real time. Each person has their own sort of media tile, and it's reactive. So as they move around the space, so does their media tile. And hopefully we can get, there's Scott there. I've just seen him join. And each person gets given a score, which is this little number here to the bottom right. This is their activity score. So that is whether they've sort of clicked to go from one point to the next, whether they're sort of moving around the space. And you can sort of hover over each person, and there's two different ways to interact. You could interact via text chat, which you can do by just sending someone, or they can request help, or you can have it in a video form, which puts yourself and the visitor into a dual hosted experience. So they can move around the space, and it reflects on my screen also. And if you want to sort of filter this list, so imagine you've just sent out a big email campaign and you have 100 visitors looking at your experiences, you can sort it out by lead score. So the ones with the highest sort of activity scores I just mentioned, they appear top. So you know which ones to engage with first. But this can be a one-to-many type of interaction. So you can host.
You can open up multiple chat boxes. Yeah.
Correct.
Fantastic. And not only that, I don't know if we talked about the email that maybe we did, that gets distributed. So it's recording exactly what you're looking at, so you know what car that lead is interested in, depending on how much time they're spending kind of looking at it, checking it out, clicking on different tags. You've got all that information.
Correct. I'll pass back over to Pete to continue on with the presentation that touches on just that.
All right.
Just on mute, Pete.
Mike, do chime in on any comments, but we've taken, these are the real stats for the Hertz site. We've redacted any personal information. So we can't leap in and look at these highest dwellers. But there's a lot of activity, 123,000 activities so far. Average activities, so views within a location, 80. And with all of Mike's promotions this year, you can see how the traffic has literally been going up week on week. Since last summer, so it's proving the value of this system. It's wonderful to see. The lead grid, I think you just saw that live on Sam's example just now. So once again, redacted some of the personal information, but these are real visits, activity counts. So you've got this information at the micro level, the lead level, for sales to follow up, or the call center to follow up on, and then combined into the complete activity dashboards. You can view a lead graphically. So here's a real lead. It's a good example. You can immediately see from the spike that the main interest is in the Ford Explorer in this case, and this guy keeps coming back to the Ford Explorer and having a close look. So that just gives you immediate focus for any follow-on discussions with this person.
Got it. And you can see on the most, it completely breaks it down. You can very easily see that, okay, this clearly the main interest is that Ford Explorer, and you can call them and talk about it.
Indeed. So in grid format, charts, and also having a record in the lead form of any of the chat history. So it may be the connector call center agent has had a long chat, and you could see exactly what it's all about. And that chat history goes with the lead. It's all beautifully packaged in an email to go off to sales to follow up to close that deal, along with any comments. So in a way, the amount of data you're getting in a sales lead far exceeds what you would get from someone wandering in physically into a showroom
100%.
or an exhibition and wandering around, and well, it's a bit busy, and what are you interested in? This just gives you the lot. It's a fantastic glimpse at the future.
Just to add, Pete, I think it's a non-pressurized sale. It's allowing the driver to do it in their own time, to not feel, in a proper showroom environment, being jumped on by a sales agent, and it's a lot more relaxed. And I think that's why we're having the success. And I think you're absolutely right. The quality of the lead, pre-qualified, that kind of comes in, they're interested, they're ready to buy, and ready to spend money, and that's kind of where we want them to be, ready for and for the sales reps to support them.
I think that's the reason for the conversion rate, isn't it? Because your follow-up is absolutely targeted. So there's no waffle and going back through, well, what are you interested in, and so on. You know already.
Yeah.
So you can get straight to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it reduces a significant amount of pressure from the salesperson because they understand what the lead is already interested in.
Yep. And some, the side benefits here. You've got, when you're analyzing the leads, where did they come from? So you've got the referrer codes here. You can see that most came from the Hertz website, but other campaigns run by Uber, email programs, you've got that analysis. So you can see which media you should be using to invest in. And
so
this
it goes
one was
even beyond the lead itself and what they're interested, but also your own marketing campaigns driving prospects and leads to the virtual showroom.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, this was a surprise because, you think of Matterport and 3D experiences on a nice big screen. We've even been trying Apple Vision Pros recently with Matterport inside, and it's all wonderful. But look, down at the coalface, the majority, over 2/3, are going to look at the space on their phones. And you wouldn't have thought you would do that for a showroom experience, would you? I think that says a lot for the majority of these larger phones these days. They've got excellent quality screens. So we need to bear this in mind when we're designing the experiences so they work just as well on phone as they do on a main screen.
Yeah, we just last week had the whole webinar about the Gen Z buyer. That was, real estate focused, but they are 100% doing everything on their phone. So, and that's who's getting into these markets.
And particularly.
Yeah, we lost you, Mike. We've been doing so well.
You got me back.
We've been doing well. You're back.
I'm back.
Only just, though.
Yeah, it's broken up.
We're dealing with here. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. Try one more time. I think I got you at the end there.
I was just saying, I hope you can hear me. Sorry about this. I was just saying, exactly that. The drivers that we're working with here, in between taking taxi trips, they will be on their phones, they will be browsing. You can as well look at the time that they're coming into the virtual showroom, and you can see, there's a lot of activity, later on in the evenings and in between trips.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I want to address some questions. We've got them coming in, so I want to make sure that we get to as many as we can with the time we've got left. One question: is there a white label solution available?
Sam, over to you for that one.
So
All the different versions you're producing at the moment.
it is, well, so each sort of tour is branded at the minute. It's just sort of a logo that appears on the lead form, but coming up hopefully sometime this year, maybe part of the dev schedule to offer that sort of white label solution. So your sort of translucent box is fully in sort of brand colors as well. But we like it translucent because you can just about see what's behind it as well.
All right, fantastic. So hopefully a white label solution coming soon. That's great. Milton asked, does Hertz provide service for existing car owners who want to rent to buy?
Only in the PCO world. So if you're a PCO driver, so a taxi driver, a taxi license driver, then we will do a rent to buy contract with you. We don't offer that service to any other part of our business apart from this Hertz PCO world.
All right. What camera did you use to scan those the cars? I'm gotta imagine I know it's the Pro 3 because it's all outdoors, but just wondering.
It was indeed. Yeah, we have a local man, Stephen. I think he may even be a part of the webinar today, but he's our pretty much local photographer. He knows exactly what we like and how we do it. So even getting those inside shots can be proven tricky, but the Pro 3 here holds up really well.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. The outdoors easy with the Pro 3. The inside the car becomes a lot more tricky.
Yeah, I think we use sort of a 1.5 foot stand position spread across sort of 3 chairs, but we get the job done.
Nice. In case anyone is wondering, you can swap to just a 360 camera for the inside. You're going to reduce the image quality a little bit. So, if you can stick to Pro 3 all the way around, that's great. Okay, so I know that the Pro 2 has problems photographing outdoors during the day and only works okay earlier in the day. Yep, that's exactly what we said. So, which is why Shlomo, they use the Pro 3 because of outdoors. Is any of this webinar going to be real estate related? Nope. This is pretty much all Hertz. Well, so we are Zuant related. So that's, do you do any kind of lead gen with real estate? I mean, I know you guys do showrooms, like not just showrooms for cars, but also conventions, things like that for exhibits. But have you done any real estate?
We haven't yet. We'd love to. I mean, there must be enough
fantastic.
opportunities within Matterport to do that. But why wouldn't it work? So
it would absolutely work. I think the lead gen is, the ability to see where the customer is walking through, as long as they don't mind the gated experience, I think what you get from that is just a massive amount of information about, what they're looking at. Are they interested in the kitchen, the, master, whatever, primary bedroom and that area. And so it's just a lot of information that you can gather. So I would think it'd be a good thing to at least try out and see, if it works.
Let us know. We'd love to try one. And particularly with the new features like the translucent slide over, if it's a new property and a range of kitchen or bathroom fittings, you could see all of the options listed with the photography behind. So absolutely no reason why it shouldn't work very well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's, I think for anybody who's looking at any, we do that all the time, right? We look at everything online prior to getting there. Like I said, we just did the whole webinar about it. If I'm going to go buy or rent real estate, when I get to the physical space, I had already seen as much as I can about it online at least 2 or 3 times. I'm not just going to go blind and hope that everything works out. That's not Hope is not a strategy, and time is valuable. So yeah, absolutely. I think I can't imagine anybody these days not looking at places, and I know that a lot of these sites like Redfin and certainly apartments.com, homes.com, and all these guys, Zillow and whatnot, they have a way of filtering by only listings that offer 3D virtual tours. So they already know that people are coming in there, and they're like, if it doesn't have a virtual tour, don't even bother showing me, because I'm not gonna, it's not worth my time taking. It's not worth the risk to get out there. So definitely worth a shot. Can you explain some of the other technology or software besides Matterport and some of the process that goes into building this experience? So outside of the Matterport model itself, what else? I mean, the Zuant 3D is really it. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
I think sort of we've covered most of it today, but sort of by way of process, I'd sort of touch on it again. So we do sort of 3 or 4 vehicles on a day as a scan, and we get that back sort of within 24 hours. And then it's loaded into Zuant 3D, and there's a whole editing platform embedded within that, where you can sort of choose your custom navigation, how you're going to sort of lay that out, what areas to zone. So a zone is sort of your Matterport sweeps all grouped into one, so it all displays the same information. So I'll put a real estate example out there. If I'm in a bedroom and have 5 sort of Matterport sweeps, those 5 sweeps can display the same information if needs be. So if I'm at the bed, or if I'm at the door to the bedroom and I click go to the bathroom, no matter where I am within the bedroom, it will take me to the bathroom. That's sort of one example. And then it's just sort of pushing that by way of displaying the content. It's available just via a public access link. So that can be embedded within email campaigns, sort of social posts, or most common, it's what Hertz do. It's just a simple iframe embed onto the website.
Nice. And then you've got the entire experience, as we saw earlier, where you can completely check out basically the whole path is done for you within the Zuant 3D kind of environment.
Indeed. And if you do want to try it out for free, you can just sign up from zuant3d.com for free, and it sort of preloads, I think it's 6 or 7 experiences in there. One of them is a real estate example. So there's a few sort of pre-configured in the way we would do it, and there's a few blank spaces as well. If you did want to have an edit, how to play, that's also possible.
Any of them car dealership examples?
There is one car dealership.
One car dealership. Scott's asking if there's a way that he can present this to dealerships that he's in contact with. Having an example is great. Is there a way for Scott to just say, hey, let me, scan a few cars on your lot and see if this thing can work out for you? I mean, can you do that and show them anything like a freemium service?
There is. I don't know if you want to touch on sort of the reseller program, Pete.
Yes, obviously we'd love to have that discussion, but I think if you have some Matterport photography, then sign up on the freemium side, talk to us at the same time, and we can give you some tips and advice on how to present the cars nicely if that's the application.
All right, fantastic. Who's responsible for doing the vehicle scans, and how's that process managed and kept to keep the site updated? So, Mike, I'll try and bring you back into the conversation. Hopefully we'll get a clear signal. And Sam and Pete, is that something that Zuant is providing, or maybe only in the beginning, and or is that going to be handed off to Hertz? Are you guys, Mike, going to be scanning going forward?
No, we obviously, when we get new products, as we've got next week, we just reach out to Sam and to Pete, and we book a day, to come across. It takes about an hour each vehicle, roughly. From our side, we're happy with that. If you've got a bit more.
I think I caught the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially, we're booking a day, a range of time, and sort of being in the UK, pray for sun, but not too much sun, because reflections sometimes don't scan too well. And then, yeah, so we use our local photographer, Stephen, I think from Voyager 360, and we go along, scan vehicle on sort of we call it hero plinth, which is just that green AstroTurf. Takes about an hour or so, and then it's turned around sort of within a week, and then we add into each additional vehicle all the content. So that's either Hertz provided, or we sort of used companies. So say if it was a Kia EV3, we use the EV3 page to sort of pull some of the important aspects, and for the Uber drivers, it's sort of boot space and the cost essentially. And then that's loaded in and sort of hopefully live the following week. So it's generally updated monthly, if not quarterly.
Nice.
But as well, we could use and we do use the Matterport ecosystem to book photographers all around the world for this, who we get to know.
Yeah.
And is familiar with Zuant 3D after the first scan.
Yeah, you could do capture services. You can get somebody, or if you know anybody local, it sounds like you guys are happy with Stephen. And I thought I saw Stephen chime in here earlier at the very beginning. So hopefully he's still with us. But Joanne asks, was it tricky to shoot the scans inside the vehicle? So I don't know, Stephen, if you are still with us, maybe you can, there you are. Maybe you can let Joanne know what the process was, tricky or not tricky, and maybe some tricks you did in the chat panel. Okay. Moving on. I'm a real estate agent and would love to be able to do a live interactive session with potential buyers. So I think that the radar, what you showed us, is perfect for that, right? Because you can really keep tabs. What if you're not online? What if, somebody comes in, you're not in front of your computer? Do you get notified that, hey, somebody is looking at this, and you can just kind of log in from your phone or from wherever you're at and maybe get a hold of them?
Indeed. I mean, you'll immediately be pinged that email, and you just click through on Radar, and then you can talk to the person in the site. So, we're not expecting you to be sitting there all the time waiting. Yeah. So you get that instant notification, and off you go. It's just as easy as that. There's no Zoom or Teams to load. You just go straight into Radar from your phone and talk to your potential customer.
That's great. This is a trick question, not a trick question. Do you have a native phone app, either Android or iOS, or do you have to go into the browser?
Browser at the moment.
Okay. Which is fine. It works. Anyway, for us to sign up for updates when this is ready for prime time. I mean, I think it is pretty much ready for prime time. It's been going on. With the white label solution. Sorry. For the white label solution, can Scott get notification on when that'll be available?
For sure, we'd be delighted, and maybe after this call we can set up another session and go through requirements and timescales. Be delighted to do that. But if anyone's interested in that sort of thing, do go on to zuant3d.com, and we'll be very responsive, not the normal slow response from websites.
Just Zuant3D.com, no spaces, dashes, or anything like that. That's good. I was going to ask what the best way is to reach out. So do that. And yeah, they'll happy to get you a demo. And that link that we provided earlier in the chat is going to stay live, Sam. People, anybody, even the people watching this webinar on demand will be able to, maybe I'll create a QR code and we'll throw that in the video for the on-demand people who can check that out.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that all those links will stay live.
Okay, brilliant. That's great. Perfect. Did each vehicle count in one as kind of one Matterport space, or were you able to scan all as part of one space? So that's actually a really good question. I imagine all of these are separate spaces. We talked about that.
Yeah.
That being said, they're all pretty small models because it's just the car. So you could, Joanne, if you wanted to, save space, is to use the merge tool and have multiple cars in a single model, separated, right? Make sure that when you upload that after merging them and having them kind of one next to the other, that you check the, I forget what that toggle is called, but it's like lock scans or something like that to lock the scan so it doesn't like try to fit them together. So check that, and then it'll keep them all kind of separated, but in a single model, and that'll save you some space in your active space limit.
Yeah, each vehicle tends to sort of be between the 20 to 25 scan points.
Okay. Yeah, so you can get a few of those into a single model if you really wanted to. And since I imagine you're disabling the dollhouse view, there's no point in seeing it from that perspective. It's more just kind of walking around the car. So it wouldn't really matter if they're all, what the dollhouse looks like, because you're not going to use it anyway. And when you go from one car to another, when you click on those links, it opens up a specific part. So it can open up the same model, but a specific location, like a deep link within that model, right? So yeah, I don't think there would be any downside to doing it that way. Is the listing hosted at Matterport or Zuant 3D? The listing is with Zuant, and the model alone is with Matterport.
Correct.
So yeah, the experience that we saw with the translucent bar and the navigation and being able to see all that, and even, I don't know how obvious that was. Maybe you can pull it up real quick, Sam. But the behind the car, there's that kind of that yellow banner.
Yes.
So we didn't touch on that too much, but if you see the yellow banner there, I'll bring it up in a second here. Okay.
Yes, this doesn't exist.
That's virtual. Like it looks like it could totally be there.
Yeah, so it's something, again, this is just a simple sort of iframe block, but it's something we've physically imposed into the space. But yes, it is something produced virtually, directly embedded onto the physical environment as it was.
Yeah, so that's not part of the scan. That has nothing to do with Matterport. It's not there. Zuant is kind of overlaying that information, and if things need to change, if that price changes, if anything, it's super easy to go in there, edit that, and you're done. That's it. You don't have to rescan.
Yes. So this is a static image, but this can also be a video as well. That can auto play in the background, or it can automatically play with sound as well.
A video would be cool. I like videos. All right. Let's see what else here is. Zuant 3D essentially an overlay to Matterport. It's a platform partner, so we kind of work together. You take your Matterport model, you have your Matterport model link, and you paste it into a field in your Zuant 3D account, and it kind of feeds through there, and then you have all the overlaying information and everything that you need to do with Zuant. They provide you with a link, and that becomes your new kind of link that you promote and show, and you want people to come to the model. They're going to use the Zuant link to get there, and that way you get all that valuable lead gen data. So Hopefully that makes sense. With that, we are at time. So thank you very, very much. Mike, I know this was a bit of a struggle today, so I really, really appreciate you making the effort and coming on with us and pulling through. We did it. Pete and Sam, thank you again. Sorry, Mike?
I said thanks for having me.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's our pleasure. And again, apologize for any technical difficulties, but I appreciate you pulling through. And Sam and Pete, as always, pleasure. Really appreciate you telling everybody and all our attendees about the great lead gen tool that you guys have built. So appreciate it.
Delighted. Thank you.
All right. And thanks everybody for attending and all the great questions. Hopefully you got a lot out of this. And by all means, again, zuant3d.com. Check it out. Great tool. All right. With that, take care. Have a great rest of the day.